What's up? What's up? What's up? Obviously, I'm continuing as Tyler Moshasky. Obviously. Ah, this music is too loud. Better. There. Much better. Much better. Much better. Much better. Close. Don't switch. Meeting room. What's up, Victor? What's up? What's up? No, I don't have Factorio installed, but I don't know if I'll have time to play. I can only stream for like an hour or two today. I'm already live, by the way. We'll probably do some other week. Dude, I have like this cough, and it won't go away. It's like every time I shower, it like warms up part of my throat. Ever since I have COVID, it like warms up part of my throat or something, and then like loosens the snot, and then it just comes out, you know? Or it doesn't come out, but it makes me cough. It's always right after the shower. Never not after a shower. So I'll just stop showering. I feel like there's no other solution.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's smelly, but like I'm getting used to it. It's not a big deal. And other people too as well. And I think that when you don't shower, you find out who your friends are, you know? Like you're still my friend. It hasn't bothered you at all that I've stopped.
Yeah.
So it's, you know.
It's like dry showers.
Right, that's like dry cleaning, I assume, right? What is a dry shower? Is that like...
Use like dry shampoo.
So you're like dry cleaning yourself?
I don't know what that was dry cleaning.
Dry cleaning is the term when you take like your like a tuxedo or something, like a nice outfit, and you can't just put it in the washer and dryer because it's fancy, you know?
Yeah.
Like a wedding dress or something, but like a wedding tuxedo, something fancy. So you take it to the dry cleaner, they don't use water, instead they use chemicals to clean it.
Huh. But presumably it's all wet.
Honestly, I don't know. I literally don't know how wet it actually is. But they don't. I don't think they put it in a regular washing machine, but they might put it in a... I don't know. I don't know, dude. I know it's different. I don't know. You get your stuff back. It's clean. I don't know, man. All right, what are we doing here? Let's go to Tyler's scene. And no one can see this because I've forgotten to display. I should have like a Unity button. I don't know why I don't yet. I think I should get one. A Unity button. What do you think? Also, the bottom of the screen is off. Or is it not? What am I moving right now? Rider? Oh, no. Sometimes OBS, man, I'm like, I become a boomer and I can't figure it out. But I think it's weird because the resolution is different. It is Friday already, Quinn. I think it's because the resolution is different, though. I'm streaming at like 14... Or I'm playing at like 1440, but it's streaming at 1920. I think something like that causes issues. I don't know. It was a fast week, too. God, fuck Texas, dude. Also, fuck Texas. Just because it sounds like similar. Fuck Texas, too, man.
I mean, I like Texas.
I don't like Texas. I think... I think one of my uncles lives in Texas. Like, has a store or something. I don't know. I've never been there, but I think he does. He owns like a grocery store. One time he was visiting, he came to our Walmart, which is Meijer, and he was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." He was like asking the manager how they stock stuff. I'm like, huh. Why, was there an issue with Twitch or something? Quinn Hall. Well, I bet you haven't seen it. I put the tile set in. I bet you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm looking for Perlin test, and I'm looking for continuous. And then I'm going to turn that off, and we're going to get one more. Stupid Twitch. I assume, like, Twitch has some sort of, like, priority on who gets quality and who doesn't. Also, what is happening with my arm? It's like it can't figure this out. There, that's better. Is it, though? Because now my lights aren't. Now it's not light enough. I think it's because I have a white shirt on. I think the white shirt is getting green from my green light. I think that's better. I don't know. I don't know. Victor, you want to see my tattoo in real life, kind of? Could be kind of fun. I don't know.
Yeah. It's gonna be like a delay.
Right. It's kind of hard to show too, because like I gotta like it's like mirrored.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so nice because it's like shiny.
Yeah, I just lotioned it.
Oh, no. Yeah, it looks fresh.
It's starting to peel. It has an itch though, which is good. I got it like last Thursday. Ugh. I'm like eating really fast too.
I just ate pancakes.
Okay. 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 Okay.
These brain saps. Ugh.
I think I told you I can probably do Factor. Yeah, I did. I do Factor probably next week.
Yeah.
But today I got to go like in an hour or two, something like that.
Yeah, no problem.
It's really fun when sometimes the asteroids they merge together,
Yeah.
and then they become super
seen that
asteroids, which is kind of fun.
Sort of happened over here. Right?
Yeah, that's what I think happened. I think that's why there's so many. There's two visitor events. There's the Abyssal Eye Portal, and there's the Rainbow Mushroom. And I think there's a max of like 1 per asteroid. I think it's something like, like 20% chance of 0, 1%, something like that. And then there's like probably like a 1% chance of 2. I doubt that they got 2 though. I bet that it's just too much because they're big. They're big boys too. I guess I could just keep generating. Do I have to turn this off and on again to do that? You son of a gun, I do. I could do this though. What does this button do? What does this button do? It actually generates pretty fast, by the way, which is kind of nice. I'm not generating that much terrain though.
I see like a grid or something when it.
Yeah. What that is? Okay. So if I can get it, I think I might have gotten it. There you go. I got it. So what that is, it hasn't tile set connected yet, and it does that on the next frame.
Oh, I see.
And it does that because like what if you play? Okay, so here's why it does that, or a reason. This might not be the correct reason, but I thought about something for Pathfinder that could be fun, but a good performance optimization. I'll talk about it in a second. But the reason it does that is because like if you place a floor here, and then you place a floor here, you might want to tile set connect these two, right? But then you're immediately going to place a floor here, whatever, all these here, and so instead of connecting them tile sets like 8 times or whatever, you're just doing it once. It's much better, right? To do just once. I'm waiting till the next frame. I could technically wait till the end of the frame and do it, but I'm just waiting till the next frame. That's probably what's happening. In practice, the players will have like a loading screen or something, so you won't see it because it's just one frame. But yep, that's what you see. So, and the next frame, the toss that connects.
Remember from the trailer,
next
things were sort of like sliding in from above or below. That could be a cool way of spawning the asteroids, like
right
when you. After you warp, like
right. I don't disagree with you.
Like,
I want to be clear. I don't disagree with you. It's just like, oh my god, I'm like, how do I implement that? I'm like, this is easier. Just put a black screen over. In general, it's not that it's hard to do things over multiple frames. It's just that if you don't lock out user control, something terrible could happen. Like, what happens if the user tries to, like, build a floor, like, underneath where the asteroid's going to be spawning in? Or just some weird, weird stuff. Just weird stuff that they could do. It could potentially only be a visual thing. That would probably be fine.
Yeah. Would it be cool? I mean, you could also
weird.
do the opposite and just have the station sort of, like, sink in from above. Like, the station is, like, landing.
Right, that could be really fun. I bet there's something we could do with like a camera to fake it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. But then you need to divide pretty much everything into the different cameras.
Right.
Because, like the zombies and the resources would have to be, on the outside sort of camera.
At least for the visual effect purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like if the player's view is locked, for example, if they can't move the camera, It's pretty easy to render a camera that only displays like in a certain box on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
But that has to be if the player can't move their camera though,
Yeah.
Because then you could kind of do a thing where it's dropping in, it's not even moving, just the camera's moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing's actually stationary.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would like work out, like the effect would be good or not, but and there'd be a lot of constraints, but technically you could do that. I don't know if it's worth it. But I don't know. Anyway, so something I thought about Pathfinder that could improve performance, but I'm not positive because it might not, is when colonists look for the nearest object, what they do is they generate a route to like every potential object. So they're looking for a chair, and the colonist is like over here. They generate a route to every chair. So they generate to this one. They're like, okay, that's 4. This one's 6. Okay, 4 is closer, go to 6. And at the same time, they also have like for performance like this thing that like if a chair is like within 6 floors, just that one's close enough. Like I don't even care if it's the closer one, And I think that maybe a way to improve performance, and see, it might not, is to just keep generating like routes, just floors expanding. Like, oh, are there any chairs? Nope. Okay, keep going. Are there any chairs? Nope. Keep going. Are there any chairs? Oh, here's a chair. This one has to be the closest because I haven't found anything else yet. Then you wouldn't even have to get the route to the other ones.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's not necessarily better for performance because what you'd have to do is you have to check every object on the way. Like, okay, is there a chair here? So let me get all the floor. Let me get all the objects on this floor. Hey, do you have a chair by any chance? Oh, you do? Cool. And that would perhaps be worse for performance than just generating a route to two chairs or something, 3 chairs, right? An arbitrary number of chairs. So.
Yeah.
Also, there's no. Also, I think that I could. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, it's not sorted by distance at all. I could sort them by distance, by straight line distance as well. I think. If they're not already, straight line distance is pretty easy to sort them by.
But couldn't you have something like where the floors are like, well, I don't have anything on me, so like.
Yeah, working on the astro generation. Yeah, but just the process for every floor being like, hey, do you have anything? What do you have? It's like not.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
that has some
before
overhead to
anyone
it.
even asks, like, for a share or something, the floor is like.
Right, the floor. Right, you're saying let's say the floor knows you got share, right?
Yeah.
Right. So but you had to look up all the floors somehow. You had to like ask all the floors, like, hey, do you have a chair? Or you had to query all the chairs and all the floors and be like, hey, if you have a floor, add yourself to some list because that means you're one of the ones you're my target that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Right. And so that might have an additional burden.
Yeah.
Because for example, you'd have to add floors that are presumably infinitely far away, right? Or like across the station, let's say. You're adding those floors now all of a sudden that you don't need to, or they're checking. And yeah, we're working on Quinn is adding asteroids around the base that you can go to, and I'm going to do a thing so to keep generating. And generating and generating and generating. Continuous. Press play. And there's resource nodes and enemies that spawn out there on the asteroids as well. It's not finished yet.
So for the like border of the station.
Yeah.
Is it like a hard limit that it's a square?
I think so. Like the border itself is, It could be a circle, I guess. Like a sphere or something.
I mean, like, would it be possible for, when designing the starting session, make sort of like any shape by just placing like the border?
I just don't know what you mean by any shape. So,
well, probably not any shape, but like.
Yeah, yeah. Like a
slightly less of a square.
By other shape, again, you probably mean something like an oval or something.
Yeah, or
so I wonder like what
cutting the corners or.
What else you could mean, Yeah, you cut off the corners probably. I mean, probably. The thing is, I'm thinking that anything outside the player's border is going to get cut off. It's going to go away if you warp. Duh, right? Duh. Yeah. When it's a square or a rectangle, if it's a box, it's pretty easy to be like, oh, okay, if the expedition is left of this wall, and whatever, like that's pretty easy. With a strange shape, it's not necessarily quite so easy. You could still, of course, fit. Okay, like you could even if you had a circle, you could still fit a square in it. Like that's not really a big deal, and it would probably be fine anyway. But for determining if the player's building extents and that sort of thing. Also, it's technically possible that the foundation could be non-square, but the building extents is still like a rectangle, a box. So if the player wanted to, they could fill it out all the way with box, with a box, but it doesn't necessarily have to. Let me show you what I mean. So let me stop generating all this nonsense. It's just so distracting. It's like, God, just get out of here. But let me show you what I mean. So what you could do is let's go up this much, and I'm just gonna do a very quick sort of circle type situation. Really not gonna be that, interesting. Okay. Like this. Oopsie. Like this something. Okay. So you could do this. This is not this is not a square. This is some round looking shape. And then the actual extents I can mark with, let's say, the test floor. So the actual borders might be like this, for example, right? And so if you do this, it's like, okay, well, you can build further out, but you're not going to start with a boring rectangle boxy station, right? So you could maybe build out here, but the station isn't going to default to that, And then the asteroids will still spawn outside that square anyway, so it doesn't outside this box. So that's a possibility, It's like, whatever, you could do that. Potentially slightly confusing to the player, though. If they're like, oh, I didn't think that this would be, still saved in my base because it's literally outside my base, right? Like, so that's potentially a confusing thing for them. But maybe not that much, right? Maybe it's like maybe it's fine,
Oh, but isn't the border like what you're supposed to, use as a base for where you can build them what will be saved? Because the station can still be any size, like any shape inside of the border.
Yeah, we're specifically talking about the border. You're asking if you could make the border non-squares, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And I was telling you could, but probably the player's actual border would still be a rectangle because you could fit any circle inside of you can fit a square inside of a circle or the other way, or whatever it happens to be. It's any shape. So you still fit a box around it, and so the actual extents might be what I drew with the, with the test floors might be the actual extents of what the player can build, but by default, the extents will look more roundish or something like that. This is assuming that the player can modify the extents.
But isn't that super confusing if it's not the actual?
Of course it is. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
It's a bit confusing. Although it's just if there's another way of viewing it, like in a UI or something, it's not that confusing. It's like if there's some other hard barrier. But again, making a rectangle is easiest. Just make it a box or something, and then you can often probably do things even within a box to make a box look more interesting, especially in the interior.
Yeah.
But no matter what they'll have, if they have the space, there's going to have some space in which like, oh, I can build in this, I can't build in that.
Or it might be fine if it only shows up in build mode, or if it's like more prominent, like in build mode.
Yeah, I don't know. Because the thing is, I still want the player to be able to build in the asteroids. For example, you just won't save it. Like it'll be lost if they warp.
Yeah.
Like for example, I wanted to. This isn't a sticking point for me. I can concede on this point, but I would like it if colonists could like build like an ore refinery outside.
Yeah.
Just or whatever. Just for the future, it'd be nice if they could just do this. Or they could be like, okay, let me. And then have the power and stuff and do things. Like another example is the Abyssal Eye Portal because it generates power. So it's just something that you could technically, let me get one. Oops. I'll get an Abyssal Eye Portal. Can't be hard. Or I could just sacrifice some pizza. Some pizza. Pizza. So here. Right. And so what you could do is you could generate, connect an object to this or something if you wanted to. So. Right, these sorts of things.
You could have like tons of batteries in your station. You just charge it up and.
Right. Batteries don't drain in that way right now, though. Batteries don't transfer in that way right now.
What do you mean?
You can't like connect it to this power source and then like charge a battery with it right now. Because batteries are just like when something creates power. This thing is like the Abyssal Eye Portal, the way it's implemented is like a battery. It's like it's basically a battery.
Oh, I see.
It's a battery with unlimited power, but it's not like a generator, right? Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
That way you can just hook something right up to it. You don't have to like have an intermediate battery.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It could be both things. It's not like you can only do one of the things. But that anyway, that's what the idea there is. That's like, okay, you can connect it to. It's got power. Yeah.
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 Cool.
Yeah. There's a slime here. A lot of ice. Too much ice. So much ice. And I can't work 9 to 5 if I'm sleeping past noon. See, we'll have to playtest this quite a lot, maybe even starting next week, to figure out sort of how much stuff there should be. So, for example, enemies.
Yeah.
When enemies are less frequent, they're more special. But if they're not frequent enough, you're quite bored. So it's sort of that thing, right? It's like, what do you know, which one's better? And I don't know. Like in this case, I don't know. It just sort of depends on what the player's use case is and what they're going to do with it. And also, like, what's stopping them from just warping again? But that was always sort of an issue, right? It's like, what's stopping them from just warping again? If they get a bad roll of dice, and that's fine. The hope is that there's enough stuff that they're like, well, I kind of want to get this one thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I also don't want to trap a player in a place I don't like.
You know, the cooldown would also contribute.
Well, I just said I don't want to trap a player in a place I don't like.
Yeah.
Well, like a parent is like, you're gonna like it here. You know what I mean? Like we're like, I don't care. You're gonna like it. Just try it. Like we're like, just try it. You'll like it if you try it. You'll have fun. Trust me. Stop complaining. Like that's that mentality. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. There should be some cost at least.
Right. Maybe fuel. Fuel is an easy cost, and there could be, you know, something like 1 to 2 fuel per island or something per system, like a smallish amount of fuel. We can't necessarily stockpile a lot of it. It could be shards even.
Yeah, but what happens? I mean, you could get stranded.
Sure. It could be shards for the cooldown reduction. Otherwise, it's 24 hours. It could be something like that too.
Oh god, that sounds like like the mobile games where you always pay shards to people.
Oh right. It does actually, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah. Let's just introduce that mechanic for like everything, like you're crafting, like pay a shard to.
By the way, it occurs to me that that colonists that spawn on asteroids, they can spawn with all manners of ailments. They can spawn with alcoholic, for example. They can spawn with, of course, diseases, zombie stuff, whatever. But they can also spawn with, because who knows what the story was beforehand. They could have organ damage. They could be bleeding, right? They could have any manner of things that you get them, you're like, ooh, yikes, I want this guy. Ooh, ooh, he's kind of alcoholic. Ooh.
Yeah, having like colonies that are like frozen and blocked out ice would be so cool. And
Right.
actually, there's even like a graphic for it. So
My oat milk shirt was a mistake, dude. It's too white.
oat milk.
Yeah, it's an oat milk. Yeah, oat milk. Oat milk.
They have Oatly in the US. Is that like a
I think so.
international brand or?
I think so. I think I know the name. I mean, it's definitely an English name. I don't know if that's common in Swedish, like companies or whatever.
Oatly.
But it's definitely English. Oatly, right? Oatly, like that's like English. L-Y plus oats. Oatly. Oh, it sounds like a monthly subscription service where you pay and they send you oats every month. Oatly.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Is that what it is?
No.
Was it a monthly prescription service? Subscription service in which they sell oats?
Monthly oats only at.
Yeah, monthly oats. Yeah, onlyoats.com. Okay.
No, but they do like oat milk and like oat yogurt or oat gurt or whatever it's called.
There are no lights here. Board the shuttle, please. Interesting gear would be like oxygen extenders or oxygen tanks would be very interesting gear for the player, I think. 20 here,
also,
here,
at some
here,
point I
here.
made like the, what was that? Like the oxygen refill like object.
Uh-huh.
Not sure what we're gonna actually do with that. So.
Let me go fight a slime, dude. Also, we'll need to add some sort of tool. I've written it down to mark lots of things for harvest. Also, you can both context order colonists to mine, and or they'll just do it as their job. So, like if you've marked it, which I think is good because you don't want to have to manually do everything. And then what we need is, I think, a way to mark multiple resources for pickup as well. I think so, at least. That could be the cargo bot, by the way. Because at some point there's going to be a lot of these resources, and I feel like the UI isn't great right now for. We're just selecting a bunch of stuff. Like all the player wants is like, hey, I see all this material, can I just take all of it back to the base, please?
Yeah. And would they, prioritize following that?
Over what?
As opposed to if you just left it without marking it, or would they only?
I would imagine you'd have to mark it for them to take it, right?
Okay.
So I would imagine that's just a guess. I'm just
Oh yeah. That makes sense because you could have like items just spawning on asteroids, and you don't want like your colonists to be like, oh, there's this
right.
thing like this ball of moonshine over here. I'm just gonna go ahead and like go through all the zombies to like put this on the shelf.
Oh, I'm fine with that. Colonists are dumb.
No, I mean like if you didn't have to mark it.
Oh, I see. I see.
If
right, they're like your colonists on their own.
Like,
They'll be like, I'm gonna go get that moonshine. I see what you mean. Right.
Yeah.
I was thinking of ore nodes because it's things that you have to like, make your colonists extract first. But right, if there's like items that smell like moonshine, yeah, you want your colonists to take a trek. Something that could be interesting, I don't know, is maybe just more like controls for the player. So, for example, maybe you click on an asteroid and be like, fly here. Like mark this asteroid, or maybe like mark asteroids, mark nodes for mining. It'd be nice if somehow the dudes could like sort of know that you've marked them, and then go to the right asteroid and then mine them, and then go back to the base. It would be nice if it had those tools, But I don't know how hard that would be to implement. Probably quite hard,
Even something like clicking the asteroid and
Sure.
like.
Well, what I mean specifically is like you would mark this ice node, right? And then it'd be nice if a colonist is like, cool, I've been dispatched because you marked an asteroid. I know that I have to go on the ship to get it. It's the only way. I have mining selected as my job task. So I'm going to get in the mining ship, and then I'm going to fly over here, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is also why I think that the idea of like some sort of floors would be fun. Because if you can connect things with floors, it's quite easy to kind of have all your dudes go out into the wilderness and do stuff because it's just how people work in Starmancer. So, for example, I could mark a storage zone for anything, right, like this. And I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm pretty sure that dudes are going to... are they going to die? No, because oxygen must be cheated right now. So if you connect with these bridges, well, that uses the current game systems,
Yeah.
And I think could look interesting, in practice. It's like, oh, that could look cool, maybe. He says gathering a resource. So this guy's going to go all the way. He's probably going to get pizza. He might not, though. But no, he's going to go all the way. So see how nice that is, though? How they just, like, walk to it, Where they just get it done.
Yeah.
Because then you can just do other stuff. You can just, okay, what else am I doing in my base? I go back to my base. You be doing like, oh, are they still doing this? Oh, okay. And then you can, and also if you can, like, build outside, something you can do is you could place, like, a storage zone. The original Oatly. I just now saw that message. But you could place, like, a storage bin, for example, or chests. We could add things in the future, what have you. And you could have a store. Or and then they're going to take the ore right to that storage bin. You can just move the storage bin. There's lots of things like that that might be nice. Also, the mining drone itself could maybe have bigger inventory space, and then the restock party can just be higher, and then it'll just request, I don't know what, I guess anything you can find outside. That might be hard, though. The hard thing about that specifically, about the mining drone, automatically getting input, is that you only want the mining drone to get ore if it's ore that's on an asteroid. You don't want it to get ore if it's in the base, right? It's a weird thing, isn't it? That you have to like let it know, like, okay, well, you know, maybe there's a button the player can click, like collection mode or something, or open mode, you know, like input mode or something on the mining drone. Then it could be okay, but
wouldn't it be easy to differentiate between, you know, the station and outside the station, because you have such clear borders where...
For you as a human being, not in code, like, yeah, as a human being, it's easy to be like, oh, I'm docked next to, like, an asteroid, therefore I don't want to do it. But, like, what if the mining drone was instead docked next to this external floor? Well, the external floor is clearly next to the asteroid, but it's not an asteroid floor, right? So would that be input-output? So it's like a button. Why not just do a button? That seems easier.
But I mean, like, you have, like, the extents of the station, right? Like the square borders.
Right.
So anything outside of that would be outside the station, right?
Oh, technically, yeah. Yeah, but I still don't know. You are right, but I don't know if that would work in all cases, because it might just be something it's spawning inside or something like that.
Yeah.
Additionally, it's weird, I think, when objects just behave differently depending on some condition that the player is barely aware of. The biggest, like, sort of compromise I would make there is, like, maybe it automatically goes into input mode, and then there's a button and you can click it to switch it back to output mode or something. Maybe it's just usually when you don't put things in the player's control, they just don't understand them, and they're often confusing for no reason, because you try to, like, make a guess, right? You try to be like, oh, well, let me read your mind of what you wanted to do, right? You're trying to read your mind that if you put the mining drone outside, you want it to automatically get all the ore, right? But maybe you don't sometimes, for whatever reason. I mean, maybe, like, here's another example. Maybe there's a mining drone that's really far away from, like, the rest of the stuff, but it's still connected. You wouldn't want your dudes to take the you know, a resource, like an ore from where the slime is, up over here, unless you wanted them to. But if you, like, again, if you can mark it, it's sort of easy. Like, oh, that's what I want them to do, you know? Because you could have, like, a ship that lands for some other purpose. Maybe it's there to collect, you know, alien eggs or something. You don't want that thing to get loaded up with ore, do you? That's what I'm getting at. It's like there's always edge cases that it's hard to guess at. And again, what's wrong with the button? You have to press the button. It's, like, slightly annoying or something.
It should be fine. And also,
Yeah.
we can, like, display. It could look different when it's, like, in loading mode.
Right,
You know,
right. That's what I'm thinking.
hatch,
Like,
so
right. Like, it can't fly. It's like a siege tank in StarCraft that, like,
yeah,
just a hatch could open up. It doesn't have to be that, you know.
And, yeah,
Right.
you can load it up.
And then if we figure out a way that we can, like, automate it, we're like, okay, you know what? Outside the extents, which again, outside the extents is a good idea. Like, okay, if it's outside the extents, just do it. But does that work in all cases? I don't know. And does it work with everything the player wants to do? It's hard to say. So, so in the short term, if there's a button, then we can just keep the button. And then if we find ways to automate it, we can just automatically toggle the button whenever you order the thing to fly, you know? Then,
And if it's very clear to the player, like if it's as you said, like a siege tank looking.
right, where it's like, okay, now it's in.
Unfolds, you can
right.
clearly see, like, oh, they're gonna.
This guy, like, saw color. He's like, I'm gonna fucking fuck up this color, dude. But he got cuddled. It's so much cooler now that they actually go and see colors.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much better. They don't have to. They will no longer randomly get infected with zombies when they fly. Like, they'll just be like, because they fought a zombie. Like, they're infected with a zombie because they fought a zombie.
The worst.
Right. And it's like you couldn't control it, but it was like we had to do it because it was like, well, there's no. Yeah, like, we want some interesting things to happen, but.
You can set up, like, checkpoints as well, like when you have.
Right. Like, you can have, like, quarantine zones and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have, like, them force fed, you know.
Right.
Something. Is there something that kills parasites? There's not. There's only the.
Maybe the medkit does. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think you need.
Yeah, I was saying maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think you need a healing booth. Some kind of, like, anti-parasite medicine would be cool. Like, maybe it damages the colonies as well, so it's not, like, ideal, but.
Damaging might be unnecessary. It's like, just feed it to him. You gotta craft it. You gotta get the resources to craft it. That might be okay.
Otherwise, you can just keep giving it to
Right.
everyone. You know,
That's
just
fine.
in case.
Because what the resources are hard to acquire. That's what I mean. Like, it can be expensive in other ways, you know.
Yeah.
for example, like a resurrection potion in games, has no cons. It's just expensive or rare, you know?
Yeah.
But see, if you connect everything like this, it's quite fun because
Yeah.
they'll just go and do it until they're done.
Yeah.
See? Very, very fun, right?
Yeah.
Much, much better. Yeah. Basically, anytime that I try to guess what you know on the player's behalf, I think it's a potential for things to be wrong. You know, for you to guess incorrectly. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what sucks. And that's where it gets frustrating. Is and then the tools are like weirdly convoluted. I mean, for example, the old game was you couldn't even control the colonists at all. So it was like we were just guessing. Oh, here's what you're gonna want to do. Like, and we're gonna give you controls to do it. You know, you're like, okay. What are they fucking on free time? Are they having sex on free time? I mean. Nothing. But then here's a weird thing too. So if the colonists can automatically extract, you know, take the resources, should the miners be given, you know, the ore in their inventory, or should they just drop it on the ground? It's weird, isn't it? It's a weird question, isn't it? You're like, I don't know. Because if they're put in their inventory, they won't automatically drop it off. Yeah?
Probably it should spawn like on the far and
then someone else comes and gets it.
Yeah.
Or potentially could even be the same person, but later. Like they could have what they could do is they could have mining as the highest priority, and then moving boxes as this second, or whatever. And so they're always going to mine first. I also implemented the mining skill such that I think the base time to harvest is like 30 seconds, and every level is 5-second reduction, with a minimum time of 1 second. And at level 10, it's instant. I think at level 10 they instantly harvest the nodes.
Wait, what is the? Oh right, it's using the. It's a pilot skill.
Yep. Yeah. Which was formerly the miner skill, and have to go back to being the miner skill anyway, to be honest. So that's sort of the nature of the beast. Is these things happen? So.
And you don't really need like a pilot skill.
Right, because you won't even have you have like one ship potentially. But again, we don't even necessarily need the ship. That's the thing. Like, we don't technically need it. It could just be, it's just the ship's fun, you know, but like you don't actually need it. It could just be connected like this. And I think that these external floors I've made are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting looking, at least. I'm biased, obviously. But I definitely think there's something fun about, like, this just to me, man, is just so much more fun already. Just look how much cooler this looks.
It looks very interesting, yeah.
Looks so interesting. And there's no one here watching us, probably. It's just us being like, don't we like what we've done? We're like, yeah, we like what we've done.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I don't give a fuck.
Patting each other.
Right, on the back. Yeah. So that's why I try to be so adamant that like I felt like procedurally generated asteroids were better. Not better, but like just doable. Like it's doable. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just fat. It's like, okay, it's already done. And you can tweak them a little bit. And tile sets look pretty good. The performance seems all right. You know, it's just you just have an outside, which is very fun. And these little bridges that connect them. I mean, man, you could even have like rails we talked about, which could be really fun, like little carts that connect them. So instead of walking on the external floor, it's just like a portal. It's like a portal, but you see them travel, but it's like a portal, you know. Yeah. By that I mean, right? They get
like the cargo bots here would be so cool because you wouldn't have to.
Right, and I don't know what the cargo bots will be yet. You know, the cargo bots. Because like, would you have to mark the resources before the cargo bots will get them?
Yeah.
Probably. So you need a tool like a overlay tool that you like mark and be like, select all of these. Like, pick up this, pick up all of these. You also need one for mining as well. So it'd be like, mine all of this. You know, mine this.
Yeah.
Because like one problem in the game right now is like if you clicked on, let me pause it, but these guys might be working, so they're just such good workers. I mean, my guys are just okay. So here's like 2 ice, for example, and like you're gonna click on it, and it's like which ice? It's such a pain in the butt. And if there's more, which there often are way more, it's like good luck selecting the right thing because it's just gonna be this list of ice.
Yeah.
And then like if you wanted to move all of it, you'd have to be like ice, pick up, oh full, okay, well ice, drop off.
Yeah.
2. Okay, come back here. Pick up the first one. Try to remember. Did I pick up the first one? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still very, very fun. Very easy. So like right there, I already forgot that I
But
do the first one, second one.
Also,
Uh-huh.
that, like context menu should really be improved, anyways.
Right, for selecting multiple. For example, the ice should all be condensed into
Yeah.
one ice. For example,
Yeah.
it should just say ice, but it can't be necessarily. Well, in ice's case, it can be, but there's certain objects that you can't condense. So, for example, a virus syringe can't be condensed because each one's different.
Yeah.
And then gear in the
But I mean,
future will be
but in that
similar
case, it's fine.
as well. No, I'm just saying that that's one of the hard parts. Is like they can't all be condensed. So it's like you gotta come up with a system where it's like, okay, the things that aren't condensed are like maybe it'd be a thing where like the ice is just displayed separate, but you can just left click multiple ones, like a checkbox maybe, like click up this, or you know something like that maybe.
That was my like first thought. Because right now, is it really necessary that you click the ice and then select
and then
the
pick
amount?
up? Right. It's like why would that even be a thing? Like why?
Because
What's the other option?
Ice.
But also, what's the other option? Because you have to click it, and then you have to left click this, and you have to left click take item. But it's. But I guess there could be other options eventually for the ice. It's because the way the context options is implemented. It's just that it's actually two independent objects
right now
that are
like,
context interactable.
It's like an entry and says ice, and then you select the amount.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, do we select the amount after you?
Yeah, you probably do.
Ice?
Well, yeah, you do. Oh yeah, this time especially. Yeah, it's even more like unnecessary. It should be a thing where it's like, and this is very easy to do. You just have to make a special context for just abandoned items. For that specific thing of just like, okay, why do I have to then select it again? It says ice, pick up, then confirm. It's like, bitch, I just want the ice. Why do I have to press this 100 times? This is so annoying. Yeah.
And also, you should say like the amount. Like if you're trying to pick up something from a shelf and it says like ice, you just say like how many ice there are, like before you click it, right?
I don't know if let me look at what the menu looks like right now. I think it does, but I could be wrong about that.
I was just looking at, the abandoned items. And
so, for example, or does. Well, no, okay, but
Okay.
that's because each abandoned item is a separate agent. And so what it's showing the first time is the menu that you see when you have multiple agents at the cursor. So, for example, here, I have two agents at the cursor. I have both colonists. So it's like, okay, which colonist do you want? Then it displays all the context options for that colonist. And that's what happens with the abandoned items. So if there was an abandoned item by itself, you wouldn't get that first menu. You would just get one thing, which is, okay, that's fine. That's doable. So what happens is you're like, okay, well, which ice do you want? And you're like, I don't know. They're both the same for the player. Sometimes they're not, but that's the thing. Is like, well, they're the same. I don't care. Just give me an ice. I don't give a shit what ice. Collapse them together maybe or something like that. And then you have the context option, and then you have the other thing, right? So.
Yeah. But wait, but if you click ore right now, can you see like how much ore it is before you?
I guess I don't know what you mean. So, for example, give me what you mean by that. Do you mean like ore on a shelf?
Yeah. Or if you have like somewhere where there's multiple.
Yep.
Ore.
So I'm doing on the floor, for example. So I'm doing on the floor. I'm selecting the floor. It's the same UI.
Okay.
If I select the shelf, right, and then I take it, and then it says 2.
Like how many there are.
Right.
I see.
Now in this case, it's weird. Like, okay, it says ice, but think of it said abandoned ice. Like abandoned item agent, and then it has a container that has ice in it. That's sort of how it's implemented.
Yeah.
And because it uses the exact same implementation as the shelves, everything else, it's just for a shelf, a shelf is different. A shelf you wouldn't just pick up a shelf and be like, oh, pick it up. Yeah. So for things like ice, it's weird, and that'll go into I think the task was to make the context ordering feel more like a single player experience. I think that would fall in that umbrella in my opinion. It's like, okay, how can we make context ordering, better?
Yeah.
So for example, it'd be fun if I could just left click, hold and drag. And then release, and then it'll be like, what do you want to do? I'll be like, pick up all the items or something. Pick up all the items in this range. But that's tough because what do you want to do with them afterwards, It's with a cargo bot, it's maybe easier because you have an overlay. It'd be like, okay, just mark all this for pickup. And the cargo bot does something. I don't know what the hell a cargo bot does. What just happened?
Wouldn't it pick them up and then place it in a storage zone?
Are these like tile set changing sometimes? I swear that something moved. Yeah, they are tile set connecting sometimes. Weird. It's like they're refreshing a tile set. Or I'm just crazy and they're not. And it's just because I see some motion that I think that it's there. It's not there. Maybe I'm just insane. Maybe I just am seeing things, dude. I swear like some of the tile sets would change. Like some of the pieces would change slightly. But maybe they're not.
Look at this tree.
Whatever. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it's crazy. Maybe it's because the white stuff appeared and then I was like, oh, it's moving.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact that the way that the tile pieces are randomized is because I'm randomizing the meshes still. See, and I think that it happens when a renderer is linked. But it's only if it's linked with the default key. But maybe, just maybe, sometimes it gets messed up. But anyway, with a zone, it's much easier.
Yeah.
So you can just select the whole zone and be like, okay, here's my zone. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Also, what if you select, you know, the entire asteroid
Mm-hmm.
and just like pick up all the items or something?
Right, that could maybe be a thing. And you know, it wouldn't be hard to select an entire asteroid because it could just use the floor, the room system, everything else uses. So, for example, if I press shift here, is something going to happen? No, because they don't connect. But in the same way, like all these are connected. See, so you have sterile floors everywhere. Yeah, I know you have a delay, but it's pretty painless. That I mean, I'm not saying we should do it, but I'm saying on the back end, it wouldn't be that hard to do it if we wanted to. If we wanted to do that, it wouldn't be. So I'm just providing that input. Like, okay, that would be doable. Like if that's what I want to do. Same with like mining everything here. I think that in general, players not gonna want to do that though. But I guess I don't know for sure. And again, why not just use a zone tool to do it? It's like if you just use a zone tool, it's like, well, that's everything they want, you know? Because if they wanted everything, well, that's easy. Just select, you know, a big box, right? If they wanted just specific things, just do the specific things you want. So I feel like the box is better because it covers both cases, and it's not that painful. You know what I mean? It's like not that annoying to use. It's like, oh god, oh god, oh good. Is this guy pooping out Galarium? That's funny. I wish you could just grab a... Technically, you could. I mean, there's no reason that you couldn't drag a zombie if you knock them out. I mean...
Should be able to move objects, like, onto asteroids. Like, I mean, outside the station, I should say.
What did you say?
Should be able to move objects outside the station.
I guess I don't know what you mean. Like, objects that you build inside, you can move outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, sure. Like, I'm doing it with the storage zone, for example.
Yeah. Because then you could just load up the storage zone and then move it inside.
Or a storage bin. Yeah, yeah. And I think that's fine. I think that's totally fair. Like, that's fair. If you want to, like, use the rules of the game to do it, yeah, go nuts. You should be able to do that. Also, the cargo bot, potentially something that could maybe be interesting, is what if you mark, like, cargo bot offload zone? So I'm going to mark this. Just pretend the storage zone is a cargo bot offload zone. So I'm going to mark it, cargo bot offload. Maybe you have a filter. Maybe it doesn't. Let's just say it doesn't. Then separately, you mark things for pickup, and the cargo bot comes. It flies, picks up, and drops off its drop off. If the drop off's full, it will stop working. Right? It could maybe be that. Because the question is, where's it going to go afterwards? Right?
Yeah. That could also be very interesting combined with like the programmable robots, where you could be like pick up item from, and then you like define like the storage zone, for example. And you like storage zone, and then you select, you know, which one.
Right. The thing is, I think the cargo bot might be sooner than bots. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for what it's worth.
But it's kind of funny because then you can have like very dedicated like to picking up specific things, moving between, you know, two locations.
Right.
You could even make. That could even be sort of like a cleaning bot, you know. Oh, if there's like, you know, bio-waste in the zone, then pick it up and move it over here.
Do not mind, you son of a gun. Oh, he loves stocking machines. Perfect. He's a nerd. Yeah, and also I feel like the logic for a mining or a cargo bot is maybe pretty simple, because it's something like, if your inventory is full, then go to a drop off zone. If it's not, look for more stuff to pick up. Right? If there's nothing to pick up, then go to a storage. Or it should be more like, if do I have space and are there objects to pick up, then go to pick up the objects. Otherwise, if I have objects, drop them off. Something like that. If I don't have anything, do nothing or something.
Yeah. It's also funny that the player could like mess it up and
right.
and the cargo bot would just be like wasting time just moving and not picking things up or something like that.
Yeah, but I think that in general that's not fun.
No.
You know what sucks is you can't see the log because of my webcam.
But if it's on the player, it's like, well, I think it's not your fault that it's not, you know, that it's bugged. It's the players.
Yeah.
But it has to be, you know, understandable, of course.
this light. Oh god, I almost knocked over something. It would have been real bad. Where'd I get the mysterious egg from? Where did that come from? Oh, a cuddler probably. Did someone poop out an egg? Yo, did someone poop an egg out somewhere? Who was that? What's that? Oh, it's the mining skill or transportation skill? It was blank. That's interesting. I hope that's not a bug. I hope it's just a regular Unity thing. Where is this egg? Where is it? Do you have it? It must be over here somewhere. There it is, probably. I just said there it is. I literally couldn't see it. I just thought, oh, I definitely see it. Oh, I did see it. I wasn't crazy. I'm like, I swear I saw green. So she's slowly, you know, going to die and become a maniac. Plus, when they become a maniac, it's so much more interesting.
Yeah.
You know? I was just thinking next week we should start pumping it on social media when we go live.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it this week because I had to, you know, make it quick. Because I didn't want to, like...
Yeah.
Because people are going to filter in not immediately when you post on social media. Like, they might put, you know, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, you still live, that sort of thing. And then it would suck, because I really do have to go, like, soonish.
Yeah.
And it would suck if I had to be like, oh, no, like, there's so many people here, but we have to, like, it's a good opportunity, but then I have to get off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I have to poop so bad.
Yeah, me too, man. It's really stressful sometimes. It's really stressful for me, because I have to, like, I literally have to set my alarm earlier so I can poop. It sucks because it's very rarely solid turds that I have. It's usually like just this real pitiful poop that there's not a quick poop. It's never quick. It's always like, oh my god, could just hurry up and fall out of me,
Yeah,
so I can get on with my life.
All day. So.
Ugh.
It's because of the medicine.
Yeah.
I had to take like a small amount just because like.
Oh, the antibiotic type medicine.
No,
Or some other. Okay.
What's it called? Present.
Anti what?
Presents.
I don't know what that is.
Wait, what? Antidepressants.
Oh, okay. I thought I said anti-presence or something like as in like
yeah.
as in like
yeah,
a as in a, yeah.
It sounded like antidepressants, like.
As in like a medication that like, okay, you're too present right now, and like I thought that it was a mistranslation or something is what I thought. I thought like you were trying to translate, because I'm like, oh, that does make sense. Like if you're too present or not present enough, that's kind of like having anxiety or depression. It's like, oh, he needs to be more present. So I was like, oh, well, maybe this is like a translation that he's doing, you know, like maybe in Swedish the word's literally anti-present or something. Like, what? What are you saying right now? Anti-present. Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be it's so hard, man. It's all these words. You gotta be like, what the hell's the English word for it again? Because I barely know medicine in English, you know? And so you have to both know the medicine and then probably convert it, because I doubt that. For medication in Sweden, like prescriptions, are they written in Swedish or English or both?
Swedish.
I was curious.
Usually it will be something like. Usually it will be like Latin, you know, sort of names.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, whatever it ends up being.
Most
Yeah.
medical terms are like that.
Cleaning blood. That's nice of him.
But of course, like the regular stuff, like painkillers and stuff, it's, you know. Actually, I don't.
So isn't it kind of weird how like the game is just in the period of 1 week just got a significant improvement somehow?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird how that's how it goes? Though these things go in like waves like this, where it's like all of a sudden, it just gets better. Okay, this guy's crazy. He's gonna start murking people, but that's fine. He's sad. Doesn't really matter. He's sad. Doesn't really matter. And then next week it should look even better. So, yeah, I really feel like the extensor on the base is the way to go. Like this seems pretty fun. It's new, but it does seem pretty fun. It's like it gives you like a very clear, and it still feels like you're in space. I think that was a big thing, because what we struggle with the terrain around the base is like, well, now you're not in space anymore. Like so, and then I remember being like, well, like, well, it's being on a space station part of the essential experience, and I still don't think it is, to be fair with you, but it is interesting to be like. There's things you could do on a space station you can only do, but then it's like trying to be like, okay, well, how can we be on a space station but still have an outside that you can go to? This is sort of interesting.
Also imagine like a new purpose for the ship could just be like to bring in visitors, something like tourists.
Sure, if
like
we want to keep, if we want to keep using it, right? Yeah, just so it still exists and so it still has a purpose.
What's the purpose of a ship? It's to bring stuff in,
Right.
and usually people, you know.
Trade chips, what have you. Quest will have to eventually convert to this new system as well.
Yeah. I think Quest would be really good with the like idea of having, you know, NPCs that sort of live on the station, and then they could have, you know,
right, like their
quests
ships,
appear.
for example. Right.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. So Dr. Guts could keep asking for biomass type or medical type stuff. I mean, you know, I meant Galarian, I think is what I was trying to say. Right. I think that could be interesting. It's very simple to implement.
And also, would be really cool if there could be like a quest like in the world, like on an asteroid.
Right.
So you see like a question mark, click it, and there's someone, you know, a robot or something there, and it's like
right.
Oh,
Also,
fuel.
yeah. Also, it's quite easy to ensure that you know they never get duplicate NPCs. Like so, like if an NPC is living on their base already, like oh, don't get that, don't them again. And perhaps with the NPCs in a way where they never die. Or maybe where they have variants of each other. Where like they can leave the base, or you can delete them, and there's you might 10 systems from now you might find them again randomly or something.
Yeah, you know, like in World of Warcraft, there's like the robot chicken or something quest. You have
the
to, like,
escort quest in Daenerys in the desert area. It's not in Daenerys. It's maybe next to it. It's in the. I know exactly what you're talking about. And fuck that. He's got a name like X3 1000. And by the way, it's not just in that desert. It's all over the place. But I was picturing the one in the desert.
Yeah.
Which is next to Ungoro Crater. There
is
one. No, I know for 100% certainty there is one. That's what I'm thinking of. It's the one that's in the region next to Ungoro Crater, and I think it's called Daenerys, but I could be wrong. It could be maybe there's a zone north of it that's called Daenerys.
I'm sure it's Daenerys.
It's where there's a neutral auction house. There used to be an arena there that you have to go to.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're. Yeah,
Ratchet,
fuck that. Ratchet, maybe that might be the city. Oh yeah.
It's like pirates and stuff.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Imagine something like that. Like you see like the damage like.
Whoa, he's red, dude. He's mad as hell. Oh god, he's looking for food, dude. He's probably gonna go eat a colonist or something. What's he going? What if he eats an egg? I'd be like, fuck off. It's so valuable. You're not worth as much as the egg. He's eating the body. Ugh. Now he's taking the body to a eating spot. He's not gonna eat. He's not gonna eat just right there. That's disgusting. He says. Is he not going to eat it? Is he just going to be like, I'm going to... Did he eat the corpse, but not the... Or is that how it works now? Is that when they eat... I think that's how it works. Is that when they eat it? Okay. That's what it is. Yeah, okay. Because he ate the whole corpse, and I was like, where's this...
But if there's a head in a jar, they'll eat that, right?
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. And I'm not sure what happens if they eat the head in the jar. If they eat the head in the jar, does it go away forever? If they eat the corpse, it would seem that it goes in the thing so that you can have a chance to resurrect them. Because it's like I feel like it's a fun story if a zombie eats your colonist and you have to go to the asteroid and you fucking kill the zombie.
Yeah. Sure.
Very fun story. Oh, it's so nice we don't have to stub and all this nonsense now, isn't it? It's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh my god. If anyone's watching, you don't understand how annoying it is to like stub in all the stuff. To like, oh, I just stub it in. Why just stub it in? Why just stub it in?
Yeah. I mean, this unlocks so much potential. I feel like we could, add like.
Yeah, and
more stuff.
What is this board? Oh, I didn't even see any of the stuff you posted in Discord. Wow.
What did I post? Oh, I see.
Yeah, I think I thought those were my images, to be honest with you. Because I just saw images. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, because you
were. So I was like, whatever, it's image. Yeah. Let me look at... Like, what I love is that, for you, I think this is really good because you like to just make kind of random things. Like you're like, oh, I really want to make something interesting. Like I have an idea to make something, and it doesn't fit in the game, but it fits perfect in the asteroid, in the wilderness. It fits perfect. It's like no problem. If you have inspiration,
it makes no sense to have it on the station because the player has to place them themselves. But if the player finds something outside, it's like it could be almost anything. It's
literally anything, and also it could be movable or not movable. It doesn't have to fit in any tech tree. It doesn't have to fit any sort of unlock criteria. It could just be an interesting thing that's out in space.
Yeah.
Whatever. It could do something. It could do nothing.
Yeah. Also imagine like portals and shit. Like, what if there's a portal on an asteroid and it leads like to an asteroid that's way further up or something like that?
You make everything so much harder immediately, Victor. Like immediately. I mean, this could be pretty easy. You're like, what about a portal? Get this. And on the other side, there's an asteroid, which means you have to enter an asteroid that's further away, but still generate it, and like, I guess move the camera or something. When they go through, I don't know. Like, get out of here, dude. Just make a space toilet, man. I just want a nuclear bomb or a space portal or something. Also,
it would be a thing that colonists could use. Well, I mean, a space wallet would be fun, but something that the player would be like, oh, I found this, I want to use it. I want the colonists to use it.
Like an object or an item?
I mean, like an object is a bit different. Well, as well.
What about like
I was thinking, is there something like existing right now that the player can build? Which, if they found like in the wilderness, they would be like excited.
I mean, like an arcade machine or something would be really fun if you found it,
Yeah.
right? Like it's kind of funny. It's like, let me just play that arcade game. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Like that's funny to me.
Yeah. That's very fun. Dude, I want like this anomalous zone, like the place in.
Ooh,
you know,
dude, the Dream Extractor, by the way, could be found. Anyway, you have the anomalous zone. What about it?
You know, in Loki, the series.
Crypto Miner
at
2.
the end,
I haven't
where they
finished
have,
it,
like-
but I can still.
Oh.
I can still follow probably.
Yeah, because they have this like weird like sort of place where things end up from like different sort of
Yeah.
times and places.
There's an alligator Loki area. That
Yeah.
place? Okay, I saw that episode. Alligator Loki.
Yeah, because they have like a huge battleship or
Yeah.
something, and they have like
Yeah.
like a weird old mansion.
It's
They
like
have
wherever you
things
go
from,
once they
like-
hit you with that wand thing, right?
Yeah.
That magic wand that like incinerates you or makes you become whatever.
Oh yeah.
That you go to that space. So what would
Yeah.
you picture? Like fog of war type stuff? That'd be really cool. If you couldn't even see inside until you move the camera inside, that'd be so cool, I think.
Oh, I just meant that type of area you could have, you know, arcade games. You could have like old medieval stuff. You could
Oh,
have,
right. You could have anything in there. Any
anything.
mishmatch of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right-
It would be just
right, I've-
cool to.
Is things like pirates. We can just spawn a couple pirates on an asteroid, and they can just wander.
Yeah.
They don't have to attack you. They don't need any special logic. There's pirates. They have laser guns. They have whatever. Like, oh, there's pirates there. If I go near there, they might get me. So you can just choose to be like, nope, I ignore this.
Oh yeah, it could even be like space police or something, and they're just like patrolling. They have like
Yeah.
a ship or something, or it could be like the police bots in Futurama.
Oops, wrong thing. Yep. And like, let me show you what it would look like in practice when they actually construct the bridges, because I think it's possibly somewhat interesting when they do. Also, like, I don't know, because playtesting is very important. I don't know if like the crystal harvester is required. It just depends on how it plays out, you know.
Yeah. I think it's definitely like interesting to having to build something.
Right.
But I'm not sure if it's necessary for like the most basic thing, like resources, or maybe it's especially useful for the most basic things.
I mean, to me, the most fundamental skill I want the player to have is building objects. And part of the refinery was just, or the extractor was like, okay, then the first thing you get to do is build a machine that extracts resources. You kind of know what it does. Then you just walk away. You don't even need colonists to maintain it. And that to me felt, there's something nice about that feeling, you know? And then when you're waiting for colonists, it's not necessarily as much fun, but maybe it's okay too, you know? Also, they're going to be, players will be so much more limited on resources, which I think is good, because then we can make resources much more valuable.
Yeah.
Which is fun. Okay, but it's kind of funny if you make a bridge, because they have to slowly build it floor by floor. So like it's a slow process.
Yeah.
Which is, presumably much more interesting. I'm gonna give him building top. If he refuses building, I would be so sad. And then just work all the time. Inaccessible object. Like that, maybe. If you see me, just ignore me, because there's nothing I can offer anyway. Whoa. But when they slowly build, it slowly gets there. It's kind of fun, It's it's also fun if like a dude gets like trapped on place. It's fun if there's like, see how there's like zombies on this one. It's sort of fun because what you can do is just sort of like wall off like the ore, and be like, no zombies, no, like you can do things like that. You can you can see like, oh, zombies are up here, so you can choose to block them off or something. Here's something really fun. You have like this rainbow mushroom, and then right next to it you have these two crystals. So it's I like when it creates these fun things. Someone's unhappy. Someone passed out or bled out rather. Ooh. Ooh. What happened here? Bad memories. I saw blood. Didn't see anything about seeing a dead body though. That's interesting. How did you not see the dead body at Ashfields?
Oh, by the way, there's like an item icon for the crystals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just haven't gotten around to putting it all in yet.
Yeah. There's also like UI icons for the crystals that replace.
Pooping on the floor. He's coming back to poop on a floor. He's like, "What's up, dude?" He for some reason didn't play the whole animation, but that's okay. That's okay, guy. You don't have to play the whole animation. If you don't want to, we wouldn't make you.
Imagine if the pirates would be triggered by seeing poop or something. You have like a colonist and they go up and poop next to the pirates and they get pissed off. And
that could be quite funny, actually. See, look at here, too. He's not... I wonder if one of the speech bubbles is bad, man. Because this guy, you'll see in a stream in a second, he didn't display the full speech bubble. And two people didn't. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So maybe it's consecutive speech bubbles don't get displayed correctly. That's just a guess. I'm not saying that is what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, these guys should talk, right? They're pretty close. I'll just put this guy right here. Fuck it. He'll talk. They have to talk unless one of them's mute. See? Hello. What's he going to say? Nothing? He actually, by the way, he said hello because he was born. It wasn't because he was talking. I was just lying. He actually... Okay, this guy should have seen a dead body by now. I saw a monster. I saw blood. How come he can't see this dead body? Is it because, like... I wonder if the line of sight's blocked somehow because it's in this rail. I wonder if the railings block line of sight or something. Like, see, no one's seeing this dead body. I wonder why. I saw a slime creature. He liked that. He thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I really want the notification for, like...
He even loves dead bodies. Yeah, there should be. Dead body. Dead corpse. Yeah, right here. You click it. Yeah, there should be. Yeah.
It's like all the time there will be, like... I'll be cleaning up.
Someone was just bludgeoned by a zombie. A zombie just murdered this person.
And I was like, did I get all the corpses?
Right, you don't even know. Yeah, I mean, you can technically like see in the HUD, for example, that they're dead. So there already is that feedback.
Oh yeah, but if you have like extracted their head or.
What'd you say?
If you've already extracted
right,
the head and there's like a corpse.
Right, and you don't know where the head is or something like that. Yeah. I mean, the only issue is maybe if the player wants to store heads in like a shelf for trophy purposes or something, you know. But that seems like a rare.
I mean, like for the. Oh yeah, if they want to store like the bodies, I guess.
Right, it's kind of like that's sort of like an exception maybe, or maybe they can just click it and hide notification or something.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Let me stomp out this rainbow mushroom. Stomping rainbow mushroom. You can eat rainbow mushrooms, by the way. It makes you happy. Just so.
I thought I changed the icon to like a boot.
You mean it a poll requested it? Or you just didn't?
Same one.
Or maybe you just didn't. Yeah, maybe you just thought you did and just forgot. That's fine too. So that these things happen. Oh, what? You can't eat anywhere? You can eat in here, motherfucker. I can make you eat, bitch. I'll make you eat. I literally can do anything I want to. I fucking made you, you bitch. You fucking think you can do something else? See, now he's spacing out, dude. He's rainbowing. Life is good, and then rainbowing gives him a +5 to morale. Pretty good, you know? Not so shabby. Lasts for 64 hours. Restores their health. And also, if you infect a colonist and they die, you can bring the rainbow mushroom back into your base. Also good for base defense, too. It's a free sort of thing. Because what I love is that players could have lots of sort of protocols in place to keep things. Also, you know what's really, really fun about having to build floors, like railings, instead of ships, is that zombies can follow you back.
Yeah.
And I think that's potentially interesting. Like, you can't just...
and then you have, like, the...
not quite so safe.
This distribution booth. Zombies have to go through it.
Just feed them bleach or something.
Yeah. Or if you could feed something that won't hurt colonists, but will hurt zombies. Holy water.
Right.
One of you guys is a vampire and like, oh fuck. But he's dead now.
Also, yeah, vampires are werewolves. Finding out here would be interesting.
Yeah.
Are they still using the day-night cycle? They totally are. I'm like, why are they so dark now? That's kind of cool, though.
Oh, the train?
Yeah, like, why is it so dark?
Interesting. Yeah.
That's
That's
I'm,
weird.
like just keep it in, right? It's kind of cool. Like why not? Like fuck it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not hurting anything. So maybe the performance is slightly bad when it's when the time's changing, but
Mm.
um, because it has to change the materials, you know.
Mm.
And that's slowly. I think this could be okay though. It's kind of fun, isn't it? We could easily do the same thing to external floors. I just don't know if I want to.
I think it
We,
would be nice if everything was sort of the same.
yeah, well, specifically, it's because actually, does this work with lighting? Because if it does, that's kind of fine. It's just that you expect like external walls to do it too, you know.
Yeah.
Like you kind of expect everything to do it. But then again, I think if the external floor does, the external wall does. But like if you had something that wasn't connected, you would expect that external. Maybe it still can. Honestly, maybe because maybe it can be fine. You know, maybe it's fine. I don't know.
I think it's pretty consistent right now with external walls and external floors.
If it's surrounded, but if it wasn't open, it wouldn't work. Like, or if there was no floor next to it, it would just be blank, and it would have the fallback, which is something else, which is just like space color, which is like space darkness, like this. This here is space dark. This is space black right here. It's like it's space black. I don't think there'd be a particularly bad performance hit for it. I think it's probably
And the fallback color used to be the
fine.
cycle color.
Yeah, well, specifically the problem is changing all of the walls at the same time could have a performance impact.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. Actually doing it is easy. Yeah, doing it is like, oh, yeah, I can figure out, you know, just the same way the floors are done. So I do the same thing on the walls. But it's just there could be so many walls. I don't know if the performance would be bad. Maybe not. There can only be so many external ones, right? Like you'd have to you could make like a crazy maze, I guess, but there's really only so many external potentials.
Mm. Need to go to the bathroom so badly.
We can stop this very soon. I think that the what if the ship could be thought of as almost like a bus or something? Like everyone boards a ship, it lands somewhere, and then they can deposit stuff in the ship because it's faster. Then you fly the ship back, and then you can unload everything from the ship.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
I also
a
think the
thing.
ship would be way smaller.
Right, it's pretty big right
One
now.
weirdness is that
It's so massive. It's like, what is that even? It's like, I mean, compared to everything else, at least, it's like, whoa.
Could also be like a thing where different factions they can come with their ships or something like that.
Yeah.
Like temporarily. Like,
Right, because it's so
like,
big, it's like,
or
ugh,
something.
good luck finding
Yeah.
that.
It's kind of cool. Like imagine like in a space police, space federation type ship is like, oh, our ship is like damaged. Can we repair it at your station?
But again, what if we just have floors that increase colonist movement speed a lot? Like that'd be easy. Like you could just have rails. Like while you're on the floor, just you move 3 times as fast. There's like powered floors or something. You know, that's what they're called, maybe, right? And you got to power them and like a railing, and they.
What do they call like escalator?
Yeah, it would be on the floor. Are they still escalators? I think escalators are the stairs. I don't know what they're called either. Like like moving floors or something. I don't know. But we know we're like the same thing, so it's fine.
Part, yeah.
Because it could be something like that has to be powered, you know.
Speed, so I guess
they are escalating. That's true. That's true. They are escalating speed. And the cars could walk fast out of you. Zip past. And then they could get to faraway places quicker. Because eventually the player's base is big, you know?
Yeah. Or you could build like a tram thing. That we're gonna see.
Right. The thing about building too much is just that like eventually the player has to the player's gonna be warping a lot. But I love the idea the player has to like sort of dedicate themselves to a place, sort of a little bit, and be like, okay, I'm going to, build up infrastructure and mine out this, so they can't just like dabble a little bit, or at least they have some cost. We're like, okay, well, I've spent so much money and time on connecting all these asteroids. I'm gonna mine them out now because I just, because I've clearly wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably good. I think that's fine. Because I think I'm okay with the player just, going like next planet, next planet, next planet. Like you can do that a little bit in Starbound, for example. Is you can just be like next planet until you find what you were looking for.
Yeah.
The thing is in Starbound's different is you have to like, go to the surface and kind of look around a little bit. In our case, you still have to do that a little bit, but not that much because you can move the camera freely.
Yeah.
We could potentially do like fog of war type stuff where like you can't see the floor until someone has walked within like 4 units of it,
Yeah.
and it's just hidden. I don't know how that'd be implemented necessarily, but maybe maybe.
Maybe there could be a way where you could discover sort of the asteroids entirely, so that it's sort of maybe.
Oh right, that's a good idea. Maybe that's a good idea. Also technically, we could choose to not generate resources or monsters on the asteroid until it's discovered. So that in that way we don't have to worry about. Okay, so for example, if you have fog of war, you have to worry about the player not being able to still mouse over the ice, right? Just for example. But if what if nothing's discovered? It could just be like you could have a different tile set entirely. It's like a question mark tile set or something. It wouldn't have a question mark, but it'd be like, you know what I mean?
It's like grayed out.
Right, and it could be anything. It's an ice asteroid. I don't know. I don't even know what the tile set is. You don't know anything about it. It's just a shape, just a dark blob.
Oh yeah.
Let me find. I just use test floor, right? So it's just a general. You just have a thing, looks like test floor, and then as soon as a guy walks onto it, then the whole thing spawns in. And then you're like, oh, okay, it's like this, Anyway, something like that maybe, because then it's sort of fun. And then you have to just go to them to see if there's anything I like. I think that might be good because I would like it if the player has to do some effort to discover. And maybe just fog of war will be fun. But
regular fog of war also has sort of the benefit of maybe the player doesn't know what's going on the entire map. Maybe in some corner there's some shenanigans going on. And there's
I don't know. Yeah, I'm hearing the pro for sure. I'm hearing the pro. I'm just not sure because it also is frustrating if like you have to have a dude near an asteroid. I think what you mean is like regular fog of war. If you're not near, you can't see it. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because it might be annoying because you're like, okay, where was the ice again? You have and you have fog of war. I guess you can still see it,
you
but
would see.
Oh,
you would still see like the resources, but
you wouldn't see the
there were,
enemies.
like,
maybe
zombies,
there'd be
like,
certain
gathering.
things. So certain things would be subjected to fog of war, but not other things.
Yeah.
And that could be okay. I think that's potentially fine. I don't know if it's necessary though, but like it's potentially fine.
In StarCraft or something where I think the minerals get like grayed out, so you don't know if someone has been there and mined them.
Right. Now in our case, Quinn's still here. Quinn, you've been lurking all morning. We both have to poop so bad. And I was like, I just want to poop before anyone says anything. Then I just be like, bye everybody.
I'm like pacing back and forth. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. It'll pass. It's the worst when it passes. You don't have to poop anymore. Fog of War again is cool, and potentially fine. It's just then I would have to implement a Fog of War, which shouldn't be the limiting factor, but it's just as I guess the engineer or something is have to be like, okay, well here's the thing. This might take some time, right? So sort of my thing is like, and I swear to Christ, Victor, if you say just make a custom shader, I will scream. That's what Victor always says. He's always like, we could just do it with a shader, which is like saying we could just do it with the renderer. It's like that's not an answer. It's like, well, yeah, maybe. It's like saying
it's just a presentation.
Right, but it's like saying we could do it with an animator. Like, well, yeah, I know we could do it with an animator, but like, how with the animator? You're like, shit. But yeah, possibly with with some sort of shader material property or something like that, where it just isn't rendered. We could even just literally see we're holding our poops for you guys, and we're a dev team that loves poop, so like it's a big deal. Do a whole thing for you. Potentially just not even render them is fine. It's easy. It's easy to just disable a renderer. Like that's colonists do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like when you hide in the ship, for example, you're hiding the renderer. Like that's incredibly easy to do. And then maybe the colliders wouldn't be there. That's honestly we could probably just do that. That's pretty simple, very straightforward, a fog of war type thing. And also, how cool would it be if low morale colonists didn't still had fog of war? Also, you could do really interesting things on your base with fog of war. Really interesting things in the base because
you could place like security cameras.
Yep. And there could be some back section of your room that you didn't realize there was an infestation in there or something like that. Like zombies broke in the walls. You didn't know because you got to do like perimeter checks sometimes. You don't do the perimeter checks, Really a lot of, again, there's a lot of interesting things you can do like that. I also think it's really fun if an enemy wanders in from the fog of war to your base. That's really fun.
Yeah.
I love the idea the player has these checkpoints that they can filter all their dudes through. Just all very, very cool stuff. That's finally all coming together, which is nice. So, again, very weird.
The turrets, they can't see very far, but if you combine them with like a security camera or something, then they can actually see. And, like,
Oh, right. That's interesting. They need fog of war to see things. Maybe the steer camera mechanics on the range or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. I just find the creative process is so fascinating. That like,
Yeah.
you know, where does this come from? I don't know. Dude, like I came at you with some good ideas the other day, dude.
Yeah.
It was dope. I got really high though, to be fair. So there were some good ideas though. It's like I was like, oh shit.
There was a bunch of like funny stuff, like of course space toilets and
Yeah.
space cows.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about the cow in like Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, that'd be
Just
fun, but it's fun. It's like it's like because I think when you're high, something that lets you do is let you relax and not care so much what people think about you. And you're like, you know what? Actually, I like the chickens in Zelda. You know what? I like that you hit them with a sword and they attack you. I don't care. I don't care that I can kill Ganondorf, but I'm scared of chickens. It doesn't break your immersion at all. That chickens are somehow more terrifying than Dodongo's cavern.
Yeah.
But that's totally reasonable, right? And again, if you were just trying to make a realistic thing, you'd be like, what? That doesn't make sense. Are you saying that if like a horse kicks a chicken, like they'll kill it? Like what? Is that why this place is so safe? Is that why the ranch can survive in the middle of a field full of zombies? Because they have the chickens that protect them? Is that what it's saying? It's like, of course, it's not saying any of that. It's like it's just funny, you motherfucker. It's just funny. There's a chicken, you attack it, attacks you back. It's funny. A little cutscene, an army of chickens come. It's fun, man. Someone on one day decided to be funny if that happened, and then they made it happen. That's what happened, probably.
But such like it adds so much character because
Yeah.
when people talk about it and it's such
Yeah.
a well-known like
Yeah,
thing.
and it's fun. So that's
Yeah.
the sort of stuff that I would like to do more of. But you have to have a fun game
And
on top
also,
of it. To be fair, you can't just
I
have
guess
like a
someone
shooting
must
game.
have like grown up on a farm or something because you see like these videos of someone like like a kid or something they'll kick like a chicken and then all of the chickens are chasing them.
Chickens are like, that's my homie.
Yeah.
All right. I really like the nuclear bomb idea. And in terms of space toilets or space cows, to me, it's not even funny. Well, I guess it's fun. It's cute, but it's not ridiculous, I guess is my point. It's like, oh, that's something. Because like space toilet's funny because you could have like a colonist has to poop and he's a minor. You'd be like, oh, let's make him poop real quick or something. And then the cosmetic variation is fun too. Like, oh, it's some sort of space toilet out here. So it somehow looks like it would belong in space or a pirate toilet or something. Pirate bed, pirate
like
what
a
have you.
rest stop.
Right, like a rest stop type bathroom would be funny. There's lots of things could be just funny. Anything really is funny.
Yeah.
And then you may or may not be able to move it into your base. If you can, I think that's the best. I would love that. It'd be a little trophy. You find it. That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Because you could collect things, It's fun. It's so fun.
Yeah. But if you can find like a pirate camp or something, a pirate camp could have, some like barrel that they poop in.
Yeah, it could be that even. And these things are pretty easy for you to make. And require virtually no time on my part to implement because we just pretty much copy and paste the toilet. It just has a different renderer. It just has a different object, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Everything else is just a regular toilet. There's nothing different about it. It's just a toilet stuff, And I love the idea of like the pirate's workstation or pirate's chem station that like it's a regular chem station, but it's got some unique recipes like for space rock. That to me is really cool.
You can find like a cannibal's oven.
A what oven?
Cannibal.
Oh, cannibal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said cannonball. Graham says cannonball a lot because of Mario Kart. I'd be like, I'm going to cannonball you. Also, Graham is getting so good at Zelda. It's nuts.
Huh.
He can like kill things. No, it's Skyward Sword, I believe. Like there's this one lava dungeon. He's still in it. He knows everything about that dungeon. He knows how to kill the dudes. He knows what the dudes are. I'd be like, look, Daddy, and I'm gonna push this guy down. And he like hits the lizard and it falls down. He laughs. I'm like, sometimes the lizard hits him. He's like, oh man, he hit me.
What's that other Zelda game that came out? Like the remake of the Game Boy one?
Probably not the Oracle's game. It's probably one that came before that, which is oh gosh. It's not Link to the Past, is it? Because that'd be dope.
No.
It's probably not though. It's probably what is that game called? Because it's probably the game that I'm thinking of where they remaster it all the time.
Something.
I don't know. I could even have the wrong game completely. Because there was one Zelda game I played. It's the only Zelda game I've never beaten. Because for some reason I just couldn't. It just bored me. The map was too big or something. I don't know. And it was a Game Boy one. And I played it on like the Game Boy Advance or the DS or something. And
It's
I was
when
like,
you start like
that.
on a beach or something. You wash up. Like
I love that one. That's like one of my. Isn't that a Link to the Past, or is that not Link to the Past? It's the one where you're on an egg and you have amnesia, and there's like some sort of egg type creature. I love that one. What's it called though? Either way, I love that one.
But they released like a remake in 3D for
Is it cool?
Switch.
Wait, like 3D 3D?
I haven't. Yeah.
Like
I haven't
Ocarina of
played it,
Time
but-
style 3D?
Well, yeah.
Because what does 3D mean, right?
But
That's
it
what I mean.
still looks, sort of
It's still top down.
the same. Yeah.
That's cool, dude. I love Ocarina of Ages. That one was that one was, or Oracle of Ages rather. That one was very cool. I put that a lot.
Is that the name of it?
Oracle of Ages is the name of one of the Zelda games. It was for the Game Boy Color, maybe.
But anyways, that game I think is probably easier for a kid compared to something like Skyward Sword.
Yeah, probably much easier. I'm trying to get. I want him to
Sort of
play.
like Link to the Past.
I want him to play like SNES,
Yeah.
games soon. I'm trying to, but like, who wants to go back to that if you played something dope like Zelda? He plays Harvest Moon, not Harvest Moon. What's the game that came out for Switch? You have a little village. Animal Crossing, perhaps? Is that what it's called?
Stardew Valley?
No, I think it's Animal Crossing.
Where you're on an island and
Uh
a bunch of animal
huh.
villagers.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Like, I like that I literally said the name of the game, and you're like, "Is it this exact one that's also named Animal Crossing?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's that one called Animal." Yeah.
Yeah, because
I know you're trying to confirm. I know you're trying to confirm. I know you're trying to confirm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm like, yeah, Animal Crossing. He likes to just walk around and sit on chairs and stuff. He'll be like, "Look, Daddy, here's the bathroom," and he'll sit on the toilet. I'm like, "Oh, that's funny."
Yeah. The
And
game
then-
has a lot of like stuff that's sort of pointless, but yeah.
Right, but not to a kid, man.
Yeah.
Like they're having fun. Like they're not
Yeah.
playing games to win. Like we play games to beat them, which is sort of sad, isn't it? Like we think that it matters. Like we think like, oh, if we beat this game, if we get a high enough score, like my dad will love me or something. It's a weird thing that we do. And then he's just playing just for the fun of it. He's literally doesn't care. He doesn't like. Okay, when Graham plays Zelda, he doesn't know there's a fucking guy called Ganondorf that he's supposed to kill, right? He just sees like a village. There's a cat he can pick up. He thinks it's cool, you know. He's not stressed about anything. He's just playing for fun. Like it's just for the joy of it, which is I think nice. And oh my god, dude, these asteroids look so good, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Victor. I mean, come on.
I really want like the diagonal corners though. That's
If you can put that in the tile set, it could be pretty easy. But they still look pretty okay now.
Yeah.
Like, with this different tile set. You know, like when you're working on stuff and it's like in prototype stage, and you're like, oh, this kind of looks bad, doesn't it? You're like, it's not as bad. It's not that bad, is it? And then, but this one, I'm like, oh, I think this looks pretty cool. Of course, that would be the time when the players are like, this looks like dog shit. But like, I think it looks cool, you know. But maybe the players are like, fuck this, dude. This looks stupid. There's platforms. They just look like platforms. You never know. I'm just guessing what the player might say. I think they look cool, personally. They're like my baby. I had to, tweak them so much. And I'm not even done tweaking them. I just had to like stop. I'm like, okay, we'll just because you keep making them look better forever. Man, I'm really tempted about that railing idea. Okay, you know what? Okay, Quinn Hall. By the way, we stayed just for you, so I hope you appreciate it. Just for you, we stayed. We're holding the poop. I think the stream is over, and then I even didn't know if you're lurking still, so I even like showed you some generations so you could see some because I think it's cool just to see like, oh, here's. Look, I love that we can have events, dude. I love it so much. We can have random visitors. It's so cool. It's so much better putting random visitors out here than it is on the base. It's just so much better. Oh my god, like the Abyssal Eye Portal, or the Rainbow Mushrooms, or the Random Probe. I don't know why I very rarely see the Random Probe. It seems like I see the fucking Abyssal Eye Portal all the time, and the Rainbow Mushrooms, but I never see the Random Probe, and I don't know why that is. Is it just because I just don't see him? Because maybe he just blends in. Maybe in my mind he just looks like a crystal, and I don't even see. Like I don't perceive him. You know? I don't know.
You should add like driller bots, and then if a
Oh, I thought you meant.
they drop.
I thought you meant from Squid Squisher, or the one before that in his Black Tax Collector. Yeah, 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 No one knows.
No one's gonna understand
What is
how
happening?
that even was.
There was a game Victor and I once worked on. There was this. It was like an orbit. You'd orbit planets and stuff, and occasionally it'd be like a random like drill missile that would come in like an enemy would just shoot right at you in a straight line, and it had this noise. It was Victor and Nebio going. So you'd hear it, and it has the 2D or 3D audio, so it'd get louder. So in your left ear, you'd all of a sudden hear, and then they'll like fly past you, and you hear, It was so dumb. It would kill you like one hit. Oh man, those were fun days. But they're done now. We're not kids anymore, Victor. We're adults now. Now we have to make asteroids. We don't get to just make drillers that drill into people, which is so funny, and I wish we could. And we still can technically. I mean, we have poop jokes all the time, so.
Well, we have the drill bot now.
Yeah, but I want the driller, dude. Also, I want a nuclear bomb so bad. Wow, 3 slimes. That's actually
The
pretty
drill
low
bot should
chance.
be like sort of whack-a-mole bot that just spawns and disappears, and if you're quick enough and get it, like you get something good, like a shard or something.
Wouldn't it be really funny? Oh, Naked's here. Perfect.
Yeah.
Add to block list. Goodbye. All right, the stream's over. There might be a patch on Monday. It's going through QA right now, so. It's on earlier access, though, I think. The patch. If you want to play it, it's on earlier access. You can play it now, but. Yep, that's it.